Okay, first up is roll call attendance.
Bartolotta.
Here.
Joliet here. Birch. Here. Thomas.
Here.
And there is no Wall.
Yeah, here. Okay, next up we have to approve, no, excuse me.
I'll make-
Amend today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to remove item 6.6, the appointment of a trustee to a special board meeting to be held on Thursday, June 28th at 3 p.m. here in the auditorium.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? There are none. Okay, now, I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Support.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? There are none. Under announcements, Concerts in the Park is a wonderful series of free concerts at S. Hathaway Park located at 825 South Williams Lake Road. Concerts are every Thursday evening in June, with the last one being this week, June 28th, 6 p.m. is when the sideshow talent begins, followed by the featured band at 7 p.m. Food, beverage, and ice cream are available at all concerts. I'm going to take a shot at this. Big Elora wood-fired pizza truck will be here on Thursday. Don't eat lunch, come hungry. Take your generous sponsors, thanks to generous sponsors who support this wonderful free summer concert series. Become one of our well-recognized sponsors in the future. For more information, call 248-666-8600. That's the Waterford Area Chamber of Commerce. And if you haven't been out to a concert yet, make sure you come this Thursday because it's the last one of the year. And they had some good groups here this year. And last week was, I didn't hear what the number was, but they had to be happy getting as many as they were there last year for Magic Bus. They packed them in, but I mean, this was unbelievable. The Billy Stepping In was there with food, and before Magic Bus started, the food was gone. Before the concert actually started, the food was gone. They had more shipped in, but it wasn't near enough to feed everybody. But nobody left. They stayed and listened to the music, so it was all good. So again, this Thursday's the last one of the year, so if you can get out, enjoy the evening. Waterford Township administrative offices will be closed along with the Township Library Wednesday, July 4th, in observance of Independence Holiday. Emergency services always will be available during this administrative closure. Waterford Township offers free paper and cardboard recycling for residents in the parking lot of Town Hall from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. July's recycling date has been moved from the first Saturday of the month to July 14th. Please also note that September's date will also be moved to September 15th. Those two dates are getting moved, July and September, so make a note of that and utilize the recycling service here at the Township. The 5th annual Legends softball game will be held on Saturday, July 7th, 2018, 7 p.m. Easy one to remember, 7 p.m. And it's not because the people that are older and don't have a good memory, it just happened to fall that way this year. But anyways, the game will be at the old Drayton Ballpark, now known as Shell Park, 4373 Dixie Highway. Anyone 45 years or older who has played slow pitch softball, fast pitch softball, men's, women's, if you drove by a field where somebody was playing softball, if you heard the word softball, if you were ever in a store and saw a softball, if you were driving down the road and somebody followed the softball off into the roadway, you qualify. Come out, they pick up teams, have a good time. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, this is the 5th annual. Every year we get a few more people out there, and that way nobody has to play all 9 innings and hurt themselves. So again, it's a good time. Come out, enjoy yourself, and get your free t-shirt. The last day to register for the August 7th, 2018 state primary election will be Monday, July 9th, 2018. If you are not currently registered to vote or need to register at a new address, you may do so at the Waterford Township Clerk's Office, 5200 Civic Center Drive, Waterford, Michigan, 48329, second floor, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To check if you are registered to vote, visit michigan.gov/vote. Under awards and presentations, recognition of Waterford Township Electrical Inspector Rick Hutchinson. There he is. I was looking at that side of the room there. Rick always goes above and beyond as our Township Electrical Inspector. On Thursday, May 31st, Fire Department received a report from Arby's Restaurant that they could smell smoke and some breakers wouldn't reset. After our engines and firefighters checked the rooftop AC unit and found no problems, our thermal imager didn't show any excessive heat in the electrical panel either. After a thorough investigation, no results, fire units cleared the scene, directing managers to contact an electrician and an HVAC company to follow up on what they just inspected. Two of our inspectors remained on the scene. One of the managers had reported that he thought he had smelled smoke by the electrical panel earlier in the day. Not feeling completely comfortable leaving it, we decided to call Inspector Rick Hutchinson down to the scene. He removed the service door panel and after inspecting discovered a circuit breaker that from the front looked completely normal and was working, but it was burnt in the back and would have failed at any time. Being that this was a very busy time at the newly renovated restaurant, I feel Rick went above and beyond by finding the source and was able to replace the affected breaker with a spare, keeping the business operating and saving the building from a potential fire. So for that, let's give it up for Rick Hutchinson one time. I'm going to grandstand a little bit here. I knew Rick in my previous life in the construction business. I was a carpenter contractor, he was an electrical contractor, and I know firsthand, we worked on jobs together, what kind of a person he is. But it's so nice when people come out and recognize our employees. I know it's hard to fathom, but you never hear complaints at the township. All you hear is good things. So, but it's another example of the fine people we have working here at the township. And again, Rick, job well done, and again, we created a problem that could have been a problem down the road was eliminated. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I just like
Come on up here on the mic, and the people at home can hear you, and they'll know who you are.
I
It
just
no
like
longer be a secret.
they tell me I can ask anything.
Well, you got to keep some secrets around here. Come on.
I just want to say thank you. I feel that's kind of part of my job as an inspector. Go check it out. Maybe I went a little further than most would have, but I was glad I did see the problem, was able to stop it at that point. I've been a Waterford resident my whole life. I was born and raised here. I love Waterford, and I'm honored to be an inspector and employee of the township.
Good. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate
Thank you.
Next up, we have a list. I don't know how good your eyesight is, but this is all of the volunteers for the blessings in the backpack from this past year, school year. There's two? One on the computer and one on the screen?
No.
Oh, there's
That's
two
just
lists.
slides, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the number was 108 volunteers we had this year, which was, I think she said doubled our number of volunteers since last year. And this was great. Like I said, we had a lot of people out there helping. And again, and I said this before, if that does not tug at your heartstrings, you need to go see a cardiac doctor because you might not have a heart. So it just, again, anytime there's somebody in need that you can help out, I mean, this is, like I said, this is big. It really is good. So next year they are looking to expand the program to another one of our schools. So there'll be more to come on that as they get the information to them. I'll share it with the public at our board meetings if people are interested in volunteering, including another group of volunteers and another funding source. So again, this is the community, and it's the less fortunate, but at the same time, you know, these kids home on the weekends, you know, they got some nutritious food to consume while they're home on the weekends. So again, job well done. Next up is the consent agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to remove the agenda before me going over it? Okay, we got the June 11th, 2018 meeting minutes. Today, June 25th, 2018 bill payment. Clerk's office, April 2018 report. Fire Department's May 2018 report. treasurer's office on May 2018 report.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll support.
Any further discussion on that? This involves bill payment, it's a roll call vote.
Juliet, yes. Thomas?
Yes.
Birch? Yes. Bartolotta?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes. Okay, next up is board liaison reports. Tony, I'll let you kick it off.
I only have one report, that's a pre-harvest survey for Van Norman Lake, Wednesday, June 27th. Anybody interested in checking it out? 2:15 at the boat ramp off Airport Road.
That's for what lake?
Van Norman.
Van Norman. Okay.
That's all I got.
Steve?
A couple things. We had a cable commission meeting last Tuesday night. One thing I wanted to cover is that Media Network of Waterford is starting to produce a paranormal show. For those people who like paranormal, it's a ghost hunter type show. It's derived from an idea with volunteer sand decay. So far, this program has already generated a lot of interest. Last but not least, Media Network covered the Waterford Little League with celebrity host Andy Dirks, former Detroit Tiger, and Vice Chair Jeff Decker also hosted the game with Andy, which is really kind of an equal thing. That's about it.
I believe you're gonna cover the Legends game this year. That, I'm just gonna sit on the bench and watch. People will laugh at me enough at the board meetings, and you see me stumbling around a ball field, so. Mark?
Nothing to report.
Okay, Waterford Historical Society Log Cabin Day was yesterday over there. Weather wasn't the best, but there was not a huge turnout, but a steady turnout throughout the park, throughout the course of the day. That is a very nice event. It's a chance to kind of get positive attention to the Waterford Historical Village. And then our first fire truck station that opened up yesterday. And if you get a chance, go by there and look at that building. Is beautiful inside and out. It just, in the old fire truck sits in there, the original, like 1941, isn't it, John? 1941 fire truck. And again, I said this before, what's unique about that, right after that fire truck was built, they quit building everything that wasn't war related until 1946. So that was really a unique vehicle in itself there, because if we hadn't gotten it in 41, we wouldn't have gotten it until 46. Unless we bought one used. So, but if you get a chance to go by there, but again, it's a nice event. I haven't got any numbers from it. When I get them, I'll share them in another board meeting, what the turnout was and how much funding was generated from the event.
We had a ZBA meeting last week and we approved some additions that denied didn't apply for proper permits. It was way out of code. And Williams Lake Board, we didn't have to have a meeting because we have a 3-year rolling budget.
All set?
Yep.
Okay, good. Under new business, we have the 2018-2019 CDBG Annual Action Plan. Rob Marinsky, Township Engineer and Head of Development Services, will come down here, and this will be public meeting opened at
6:15.
6:15 p.m.
We need a motion to open
Does it show?
the public.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
We
make
need a
a
motion to open the public hearing
motion to open the public hearing. Support.
at 6:15.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
It's a roll
Roll call
call.
vote.
Yeah. Okay, Bartolotta?
Yes.
Juliet, yes. Birch?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Kim Larry, Wall?
Yes.
Okay.
Evening, Rob.
Good evening. Like you mentioned, Rob Marinsky, Waterford Township Development Services Director. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to receive input on Waterford Township's use of community development block grant funds. On May 1st, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced the 2018 fiscal year CDBG allocations, and Waterford Township will be receiving $412,331. This is roughly 5% increase over last year's allocation, but is still only at a level that will effectively fund our ongoing housing rehab program, code enforcement efforts in CDBG target areas, and the overall program administration. The housing rehab program offers assistance in the form of zero interest, no payment loans to low-income, single-family homeowners for urgent home repairs. Our goal is to provide assistance to at least 12 qualified homeowners this year. CDB funds are used to support code enforcement efforts within CDBG target areas. These areas are census tract areas within the township where a minimum of 51% of the homes are low to moderate income households. Our goal is to make at least 400 code enforcement inspections within these areas during the program year. Further, a portion of the annual allocation is budgeted to cover the general administration of the CDBG program and also fair housing efforts. Program administration is subject to 20% cap of the annual allocation. Note, as a CDBG recipient, the township is obligated by law to reduce barriers of fair housing. Over the last 26 years, Waterford Township has partnered with the Fair Housing Center of Metro Detroit to assist us with our fair housing obligations, and we look to continue that partnership into the next program year. To that end, funds to cover these costs are included as part of the public administration budget. In addition, because any new software solution associated with the next agenda item will be utilized by code enforcement, and a fair amount of our overall code enforcement efforts are located in CDBG target areas, funds to help offset the purchase and/or necessary training related to the implementation of said software have been budgeted as part of the program administration activity. Waterford Township is also proposing to reallocate previously unspent program year funds to add 2 more activities to the upcoming action plan. First, we are proposing to reallocate up to 15% of the total 2018-2019 allocation, around $60,000, to help support the curb-to-curb transit service currently administered by the Waterford Senior Center. This public service provides transportation for seniors and disabled persons who live in Waterford so that these individuals can make doctor's appointments, make hospital visits, or other medical related trips, as well as other essential and non-essential trips. Note, all public service activities are subject to a 15% cap. Finally, as part of the 42nd and 43rd program year, funds were used to support the inventory and analysis of all non-motorized pathways in the township. Based on the findings in that inventory, Waterford Township proposes to allocate funds to make sidewalk improvements within a CDBG target area, specifically Census Tract 1448, Block Group 2, which includes Clive, Goldner, Linsbury, and Doremus Avenues. It is anticipated that this activity will improve approximately a quarter mile of sidewalk along these streets. After closing the public hearing and considering any comments, I'm requesting the board consider the resolution included in your packet approving the proposed 2018-2019 CDBG budget and authorizing staff to complete the necessary annual action plan submitted to HUD. With that, I'll return it back to you and open it up to public comment.
Okay, does anybody on the board have any questions for Ron? You did a real good job at, spelling this out item for item from the previous year budget, showing where all the money's allocated for. And explaining what it's going to be used for there. So, we're talking about what we have in the past, housing rehabilitation, code enforcement, program administration, and then, of course, the infrastructure, sidewalks, and the senior versus curb transit service. So again, it's a nice amenity to have it. To have it and utilize it is even more important. Have a benefit to our community. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got a question, Ron. On the sidewalk improvement, you got these 4 avenues. Are they the worst in the township?
They're the worst within the target area, so that's why we focus in that. Now, block grant money can only be used for this type of activity improvement within target areas. So we're going to leverage our efforts through block grant with some funds out of the general fund to help improve improve some other areas that desperately need some sidewalk improvements.
The $50,000, how much sidewalk does that fix or replace?
We anticipate about a quarter mile.
About a quarter mile, I said that earlier. Thanks, that's all I got.
1,320 feet, that's a quarter mile, right?
That's all right, yeah.
But no, but again, like, and I explained to the board earlier in the work session, that what we do, we go to a targeted area that's the worst spot for that area. Now, we may, to get a bigger bang for our buck, we may do some other repairs in that area that aren't at the top of the list. You know, rather than having the guy drive all over Waterford Township and getting less repair done, you stay in one area, you get the biggest bang for your buck, and you get a quarter of a mile done rather than 3/16 of a mile, because you have people driving all over the place. They're wasting their time off traveling and moving equipment, so it just,
There's an economy of scale in doing an effort like you suggest, like we're suggesting and requesting.
Maybe one more question. The $50,000, that's $50,000 budgeted for sidewalk repair for this budget year?
That's what
Is
we're
that-
asking,
That's
yes.
all that we have. So you're not going to put out more bids. I guess my question is, how do cement guys put a bid in for next year? Do you advertise that on the website or do you in newspapers?
We're actually going to try to work with the contractor that got the award last year to see if we'll honor his government pricing from last year. And if you will, then we'll partner with him to do both the general fund improvements and the block grant improvements.
Last year you didn't get too much activity of people bidding on this work, correct?
I think the last 2 years
They
they had a contractor, on board. Now, previous years, I'm not sure if they had the response that they were looking for. I think the last two that they partnered with the same contractor.
We understood that contractors had more work, more money other places than they were putting bids in.
Right, we're hoping if we do have to go out for bid, which again, we're looking to partner with the same individual as long as he can honor the government pricing.
Yeah.
But a smaller job, only 50,000, we're looking to double that, close to 100,000 worth of work. You're going to get more interest. And moving forward, we're hoping to continue to keep that interest, right?
Thanks, Rod.
okay, anybody else on the board? Is there anybody from the public that has any questions for Mr. Morensky? Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Close the public hearing at 6:24. Looks like we need a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution for 2018-2019 CDBG Annual Action Plan.
Support.
Any further discussion? Okay, this is your roll call vote.
Bartolotta.
Yes.
Birch.
Yes.
Cameron's here. Joliet, yes. Thomas.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes. Okay. Next up, we have an RFP number DSD-1801, request to purchase new software solution for development services. As we've talked in recent years at budget meetings, the current system we have is beyond it. They don't even make it anymore. There is no backup plan for it, and we're in a position if it breaks down, we're kind of in trouble. So we're in good shape, and we've been doing well with it. But again, it's time to get a new system, come into the 21st century, and it'd be a system compatible with other municipalities. So it's essential and we need it, and we were able to appropriate the funding for the budget time last year. So something we really need, and it's time to move forward with it.
I'll make a motion to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with BSNA Software and to implement the new software solution and provide related support services as presented in their proposal.
I'll support.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, this is a roll call vote.
Wall.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Carlotta.
Yes.
Birch.
Yes.
Juliet. Yes.
Okay, next up, we consider a resolution approving petition by Township for extension and improvement of the Chapter 21 Oakland-Macomb Interceptor Drain.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the supervisor and the clerk to execute and deliver the petition to extend and improve the Oakland County Macomb Intercounty Drain. I'm sorry.
I'll support.
Okay, Russ?
We're all done. So basically what's happening here is we're petitioning Oakland County WRC to extend the agreement with OMID, which is the Oakland Macomb Disposal Drainage District. And what we're petitioning to do is take over the Northeast Pump Station, which is a Detroit asset, or right now it's operated by Great Lakes Water Authority, and also the North Interceptor East Arm, which is where that lift station discharges into. And the reason being is it needs a tremendous amount of work, and as that work proceeds, they're gonna have to bond for this. This is about a $70 million project they're looking at. And Oakland County, we are petitioning Oakland County as the largest user, Waterford Township being the largest member of the Clinton-Oakland sewer disposal system. And I believe it was Sterling Heights. Is that right, Joseph? Sterling Heights did from the Macomb County side. So they have two member communities that have petitioned for this. And similar to the board, I'm assuming that, Gary can't really make a motion, but, they can carry it out. So now that we've petitioned for this, they can go into negotiations with the Great Lakes Water Authority to take that over on a long-term contract. And what that'll do for us is OMID has a much better bond rating. Waterford's portion of this project is about a $5 million bond. And if we get the difference between a 3% interest rate or a 5% interest rate over a $5 million bond, it's very substantial in the 20-year bond life. So part of this, the Water Resources Commission has asked for a member community to fill out this petition, and that's what we're here for.
And not that we're happy to have bragging rights with the fact that Waterford Township is the biggest contributor. That's why they approached us.
That is why they recommended that, it be one of the larger users on the system.
Right.
And we being the largest, that was the first question. And as you can see, Gary Dovery's gone through this. We've had extended conversations with it, and it's recommended from Gary that we do proceed with this.
Yeah, and the fact that Oakland-Macomb Interceptor District has been around longer than the Great Lakes Water Authority, they have the better bond rating. And
They have a higher established bond rating,
Yeah.
yes.
So, I mean, I don't say it's a no-brainer, like I said, the amount of money we're gonna save on the $5 million, between 3 and 5% over.
I also understand there's some concerns with the Great Lakes Water Authority when they took over the DSD, Detroit Water and Sewer, DWSD assets, that some of the, some of the legacy costs were part of the operation. So we're trying to take that out of the operation of this lift station as well. So The projected operational budget from Great Lakes Water Authority is about $10 million a year, and the OMID feels that a conservative number is somewhere between $5 and $6 million a year. Realistic, we're down under $5 million for an operation, but that's in part because they can get rid of some of those legacy costs. Great Lakes Water Authority, of course, will find another way to charge OMID for those legacy costs, but they won't be in the operation of that particular lift station.
Right, we have an option ourselves to save money, and that's, we gotta look up on them first, so.
Exactly. And those, legacy costs should be a common to all. And basically, when they're wrapped up in that northeast pump station, they're just common to OMID, because we're responsible for the operation of that lift station.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
I think this preliminary estimates indicate that Waterford could save as much as $400,000 per year.
Well, that's the estimation between the legacy costs and the bond rating. I mean, that's substantial. No way to, that is amazing.
No, I like it.
It's a good for everything, everybody involved.
Yeah, and again, like I said, there are no other options. I mean, that's where the sewage goes.
Yeah, we're going through that system no matter how we do it, and if we can get OMID to do the operation, a lot of the North Interceptor East arm that goes into the Detroit area. I mean, that's below 8 Mile, but we're the only contributors into that interceptor, and it needs additional repairs as well. 70 years of deferred maintenance is coming true on all these systems, but again, the bond to repair that with a AAA rating as compared to a Great Lakes Water Authority being a organization that's less than 2 years old, they just don't have a bond rating. They'll get there, but they're just not there yet.
And again, fortunately, we've had the foresight here in recent years to start upgrading our water and sewer systems with, main relining and stuff, so as time goes on, we're able to try to keep up as much as we can, and be proactive rather than reactive. It's always better that way. And if ours fails, we don't have anybody else we can pass the cost on to. Just find a mirror, look into it, and that's the person that's going to solve the problem right there.
Yeah, and if you look on the fact sheet, the egg down on the bottom of the fact sheet, you see Great Lakes Water Authority being the largest, and then the Shell, and then OMID, and then Clinton, Oakland, and then Waterford in the middle. That means that there are three different organizations, taking their share of the pie before we even get to ours. So it's a challenge for us to maintain our own system as well.
Right.
But we're going to continue to do so. We're not going to give up on it, not by any stretch of the imagination.
No. So it's good that we're doing that, because if not, it comes to the point where you said there is no backup funding for us,
No, that's very true.
Anybody else? So. Okay, anybody else have any questions for us? Okay,
Yes.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Okay, you're right.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
This should be a roll call.
Wall?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Joliet? Yes. Birch?
Yes.
Bartolotta?
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, we have a request to waive the fireworks display fee for Waterford Kettering High School. Is there anybody here? Here we are. How are you tonight?
I'm well, how are you, sir?
Good.
Per my email to Mr. Wall, Waterford Kettering, the Service and Student Activities Director, we put on this event every year as a part of our homecoming powder puff events. And this money, the township fee is $500, and the fire department fee is $300. That $800 comes out of an account that is taken from the class proms. All that money is essentially, it's not for profit, it's for the school's classes prom. So we were wondering if the township would consider waiving either part or all of those two fees. It would be an incredible savings to the accounts for each class, this upcoming class, of course, 2019 prom.
Okay. I want to ask, and again, this is just speculating, what kind of money do you typically generate for fundraising for the event?
It's roughly around $5,000. Prom is upwards of between $20,000 and $30,000, so it does help considerably. And each given year, we split the money between the junior and the senior classes. So that money gets split, and then it eventually goes. All of that money that we would ultimately save here would be put into the coffers for the proms.
Numbers like that, it makes me glad I graduated high school when I did, because the cost went here. I remember we were in a limousine at $25 an hour, and that was a small fortune back.
Terribly expensive.
It was last century. It was a
Prime
century
tickets are
ago.
about $85, so
Yep.
they cost the kids. It could potentially, any savings of money that we try to generate in other locations decreases the cost of the ticket per student for the prom also. So.
Okay, it helps. So.
But it really helps, yeah.
Now, the research that I've done, there is some cost involved in the township. I can't speak for the fire department. You'd have to talk to fire chief, but from the township standpoint, I would be willing to reduce that fee to $100 because there is a cost involved in processing that, and that's what the fee used to be back years ago. So
Yes.
I would be agreeable to reduce that fee to $100, which would be the 80% reduction.
That would be fantastic, and
Okay.
anything you can do, that would be great.
Okay, now I'll make that proposal to the board and see if they're good with that. But that would be my proposal. Like I said, looking, there is some cost involved, and I think $100 would cover that, so.
That would satisfy us for sure.
Okay. Chief Lyman, would you like to come up here and,
Address the 300.
Yes, sir, we'll also have some cost involvement. We'll have an inspector there on site, as we do with all fireworks displays. Our fee is $300. I don't see why we couldn't reduce that to the same $100 that you had.
you would be good with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna cost us a little bit, but
Right.
it's probably the right thing to do.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the $100 for the fee for the township and $100 for the fee for the fire department.
Let me ask you a question. Is this something that people then would be willing to pay? You're not asking for our approval for a donation?
Oh, no, we would be willing to pay whatever, I mean, we have to pay the cost if you want to own the event, we're just asking that you decrease the cost, I suppose. Yeah, we would be paying, the township would bill us as would the fire department, and then the school district would,
I support
that.
And I'd like to say one thing if I could. I don't like the idea of cutting fees because I think everybody's going to open the door for everybody else, but, you know, for this event, I have to support this. When I came up here tonight, I was going to vote no on it, but, you know, it is to a good cause. I just hope we're not opening the door to other fundraisers and asking, which I'm sure we're going to be hearing from some more outlets, but you know, this is a very good cause, so.
I completely understand your concerns.
Yeah, it's a good cause, I mean, yes.
I appreciate Supervisor Wall and Chief Lyman for
Yeah.
volunteering, reducing the fees. I really do.
As do we. Well, on behalf of Waterford County, we sincerely appreciate your time.
And again, like I said, it's a nonprofit and it's a fundraiser and it's for our kids. You know, again, like I said, looking at the whole picture, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the local schools and Waterford Montclair will come on. Even though I graduated from Kettering, I love the Corsairs too. I do love the
I was
Corsairs.
gonna say, I graduated from Mont, so.
So it's like, that's as split down the middle as you can get. Because he went to Mont, I'm gonna change that number to $101.
Well, I'm also a mock graduate, so I understand that.
$102. Going here, $103. But no, like I said, it's for our kids, and you know, most kids aren't working at that time, they're in their education, senior prom's a big deal, and then we have to help out with that. It's just, I think it's a move in the right direction, so.
Excellent, well, we
You
appreciate
made a
your
very
time.
good point. Why put a strain on it when they're trying to get an education, financial strain, so, yeah, really a no-brainer right now. I can't even go with a different attitude, you guys want me over that? Yes, absolutely.
We appreciate it very much.
Okay, appreciate you coming doing the presentation and the email, the information you sent us ahead of time, so we had something to review there, so.
It's a roll call.
We got a motion saying anybody else? Or anybody else, okay? Yes, roll call vote?
All right, Wall.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Joliet, yes. Birch.
Yes.
Carlotta.
Yes,
Thank you.
have fun.
Thank you. Next up, we have a proclamation, July 1st, Youth Voter Engagement Day.
I will make a motion to adopt the proclamation for July 1st as Youth Voter Engagement Day.
Support.
Who likes to read?
Margaret.
Don't everybody jump forward at one time. You want to read that proclamation, Margaret?
Yes, whereas 18 to 29-year-olds make up an estimated 31% of the electorate, yet on this average demographic votes less than 50% of the time. And whereas young people across the United States and our great state of Michigan are constantly feeling more out of touch with the political process. And whereas Michigan was the 15th state to ratify the 26th Amendment, giving citizens at least 18 years of age the right to vote. And whereas activities young people and all citizens can partake in to increase involvement in our nation's political processes include: number 1, register to vote. Number 2, learn who your representatives are. Number 3, write a letter to a politician, be it a governor, senator, representative, mayor, or any other elected official. Tell them about an issue you're passionate about. 4, call a politician who represents you and talk to them. 5, join a political organization such as the League of Women Voters, Young Conservatives of America, Tea Party Patriots, Young Progressives, Engage 18, etc. Number 6, talk with a friend about politics. Number 7, join a political party. Number 9, pledge to attend a town hall. Number 10, talk about an issue you're passionate about. Number 11, read a piece of political news. 12, learn about a political concept you're unfamiliar with. 13, apply to work for a government official in their office. 14, work in a polling location on election day. 15, work to get your neighbors more engaged in politics. 16, run for office. 17, sign or circulate a petition. 18, have a conversation with someone you ideologically disagree with on a topic. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Waterford Township do hereby proclaim July 1st as Youth Voter Engagement Day in Waterford and encourage the young people of Waterford to engage themselves in our nation's political processes.
Any further discussion? Interesting numbers there.
Okay, this is a roll call vote
Yep.
to adopt. Okay, Wall.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Joliet, yes. Bartoletta.
Yes,
Birch.
Yes.
And it was in our lifetime, actually, it was triggered by the Vietnam War. There was a song out there by Mary McGuire, that said, "You're old enough to die, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, don't take gun to your toe." It was even destruction, but it was that time you could go over and fight in a war, but you couldn't vote for the people that were sending you over there to fight in the war. And that's kind of what triggered that, and it ended up 1972. That was the first year for the 18-year-old vote here in Michigan. And I know there was a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-olds at the poll later. There was a lot of them showed up. First chance they had to vote, and it was good, and it's been good ever since. But like I said, the numbers have declined here a little bit. How many make up the population? And less than 50% of them vote. So if you think about it, encourage your kids to get out and vote, and it could have an impact on their future. So. Right. Okay. Public comments. We'll be open to the public. We're limited to 3 minutes. Is there anybody who would like to come before the board at this time? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and trustees, boy, this is as loud as I think it is. It's really loud. I'm the Oakland County Commissioner, one of them for Waterford Township. I just wanted to touch on two issues.
State your name, please.
Eileen Powell,
Okay, thank you.
Oakland County Commissioner. Recently, last week on June 19th, the Oakland County Board of Commissioners had a press conference where we do Oakland County Lock It Up. And we distribute gun locks, and we work with local retailers to give discounts on safes. And also we work with our local law enforcement and the sheriff's office. And I was just very happy to have Deputy Chief Kevin Casey join us for that. It's very, very important to have the support of the local law enforcement. So I just wanted to mention that. And then another thing that I'm kind of proud about is the PACE program. That last fall, the Oakland County Board of Commissioners passed a resolution designating the entire county of Oakland as a PACE district. And what that enables businesses to do is to do efficiency improvements, heating, cooling, water, windows, all that kind of thing, and to be able to actually pay it back on their taxes over a longer period of time. So it takes what would be like a really impossible hurdle almost to take an older building and rehabilitate it and keep it from going into further disrepair, and it makes that possible. So the first one in Oakland County was the Hatchery Road Apartments, first project that was done under that. So it's making a difference in your community, and I just wanted to point that out, so thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Listen to this one. I'm in the breakfast policy at 3642 Bakewood Drive, and I was going over these tax statements. And back in 2012 and 2013, we had 9 millages for the township and 3 for the school board. Now we got 23 millages. What's going on? We can't, if you want more millages for the police department, I don't think we can afford them anymore. Why don't we get the sheriff's department in here? And this statement you got here, $167 a year. You know how much that adds up in 20 years, in 12 years? That's over $20,000 a household. I'm against that. We got enough tax as it is. I go month to month on Social Security. You're going to add $167 at one shot to every tax statement? It's for the birds. You know there's 65,000 people in Oakland County who's under the poverty line. What are they going to do? You're not looking out for the people. I think you're looking out for certain groups, interest groups. And do you know, half the people in Waterford do not know there's a police notice coming up or a CIA notice coming up in November. They're shocked. They're telling me right now, no way in hell are we going to vote for that. So maybe the board ought to get together and behind closed doors and come up with something else. What happened to that bond issue that was supposed to expire? We got a letter from you saying you'd like to take that bond issue and put it to the fire and police department. That was okay. What happened to it? Now you come up with a millage for it, another millage. We can't afford the police department anymore. I admire the police department and fire department, but they're getting too damn expensive to hold, to keep. I can't afford them. I'm sure that a lot of people probably sit behind me thinking the same thing I am. That's $20,000 in 12 years. Where do you get 12 years millage? That's always been 10 years. You sound like a CIA building. They want a 20-year millage. Now you're coming up with 12. Where do you get number 12 at? I don't like it. I was for it until I read this, how much my taxes are going up. Over $20,000 in 12 years.
How does $167 over 12 years add up to over $20,000?
Add it up. If I see it, it's right in grip.
167 10 times is going to be $1,167. It's not going to be 20,000.
12 years?
167 10 times is 1167, not 20.
Maybe I miscounted.
Yeah.
It's 2,000.
Right.
Okay, my mistake, I'll admit that. But, come on. 23 villages we have now, if you got the next 2, that's 25 to us.
It's not a village, it's a special assessment district.
I know, it was a special assessment, then you changed it to a bond issue. What happened to that special assessment?
What special assessment?
The
It's
police and
not,
fire department has special assessment of the 3 millers they have. Then all once you change it all in line to a bond issue, and you even said yourself that bond issue you'd like to give back to the fire and police department, which we agreed on. But what happened to it?
okay,
You come back with a millage.
the bond expired for the police and fire buildings on the winter tax bill.
Right.
What was proposed was for a new community center. It's not gone on the ballot. We've not drafted ballot language for it, and we've not accepted ballot language for it for the November 2018 ballot. That would be a continuation of 0.65 mils. But we're in the process of trying to find out what the cost for a new community center would be, whether it can fall in under that 0.65 mils, so nobody's taxes would change per mil at 0.65.
Okay.
But that's not on the ballot yet. What we're talking about is the police and fire SAD, as we call Special Assessment District, and we did it on a 12-year SAD. Remember, in 2012, it was, quote, a forever tax. It was never going away because there wasn't a sunset on it. And when I talked to legal counsel in 5 other municipalities after I came into office that had SADs, the reason they never put a sunset on it is because you're always going to have law enforcement.
Right.
Law enforcement's never going to go away. I don't care if it's Waterford State Police, Oakland County Sheriff's Department, it comes at a cost. Nothing's free, it comes at a cost. So the SAD was always forever because you're always going to need law enforcement. And you're always going to need fire and EMS protection. You're always going to need that. Whether you contract out or have it yourself. But this study that we did with new police officers that come in on this, and a 4-year plan will be at $126,000 a year. That's base pay, pension, health insurance, capped health insurance. That's everything figured in there. At 4 years of it, if we contracted with the sheriff's department, all of our legacy costs, we still have them. They're not going away. We have all the legacy costs. They're related. $152,000 is the price for one deputy with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. So we're talking 126, 4 years down the road, it's 152 right now. And this isn't a knock against the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. They're a top-notch operation. Our Oakland County Sheriff was Sheriff of the Year in the United States last year. Under Sheriff Mike McCabe was as good as they come. I'm not bashing the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. But I'm talking about, okay, I can get a police officer in 4 years at 126. If that went up 2% a year, you're going to be at about 168,000. That's $42,000 per officer per year difference. So, and you start adding it up over 55 or 60 police officers, that's a lot of money.
And the sheriff and the police department, Waterford Police Department can't merge together as one group?
Waterford merged with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department?
Yeah,
Well, I would assume that like they did with Pontiac, if the Sheriff's Department came, they would hire whatever Waterford police officers they wanted to, like they hired whatever Pontiac police officers they did by state. It's gonna come at a lot greater expense.
okay.
We've got rid of the old pension system. We've done everything we could possibly do. I'm saying we, like 4 of the members on this board right here that came in 2012. We got rid of all the old pension system, all the old health insurance, all retiree health care, all that stuff. We did away with all that. Everything we could possibly eliminate, we did contractually township-wide. That's behind us now. The bottom line is, but the legacy costs are there. Somebody worked their entire career, you promised them a pension and retiree health care, you should live up to it.
Right.
You should live up to that. I mean, if you can't, then you negotiate something different, but at the same time, back then, like, I know police officers and firefighters and township employees for like a 7-year period took concessions, they never got a dime in raises or nothing, but it's with the agreement when they retire, they're gonna have retiree health care, and they're gonna have pensions, well, that stuff, they get a retiree health care savings plan, and they get a 401k now, they don't have those guaranteed pensions anymore, so we've done everything we can physically and mathematically do at this point. But I can tell you, you were going back in date, let's go back to 2009. I paid a little over $4,000 in property taxes where I live right now. And I put no more additions on the house, nothing. Today, this year, I'll pay $2,900. So I'm $1,100 better off today than I was in 2009. 9 years ago, I'm paying $1,100 less on my house than I was paying then. So I mean, I'm $1,100 ahead. So that $254 that I'm gonna have to pay, I still got a big chunk of change in my pocket. So I mean, looking at it, you can cherry pick the numbers right. Yeah, it's gonna come at a cost. We've not hid anything, we spelled everything out. The average household, $167.32, whatever the number was, what the cost is gonna be. But it's for fire equipment, police officers, firefighters, that's for protection of our community. And it comes at a cost. And again, the fact that there was no money in the budget to replace fire trucks or wherever it was for years, like the last new vehicle we bought was 2002, until last year we bought 2 fire trucks, which are they here?
What happened to them?
One will be here tomorrow. So for like 15 years, the only fire truck we got in Lake Angeles bought for Waterford Township because of the distance of their fire hydrants. They need the one would hold a bigger volume of water so we could start pumping until we got the hoses out and accommodate that.
Lake Angeles, are they on this millage too? Or in Pontiac?
Lake Angeles and Pontiac both function off their contracts. We're getting new fire trucks for Waterford Township. We aren't getting them for Lake Angeles. Lake Angeles wants a fire truck, they'll buy a fire truck.
Okay.
The city of Pontiac wants a fire truck. When we negotiate the next contract, we will negotiate a contract and we'll purchase fire trucks. But right now, Lake Angeles and the city of Pontiac, they're self-supporting. We don't reach into our pocket to fund either one of them. They support themselves. And we inherited all of Pontiac's fire trucks. All of them are now Waterford regional fire trucks. And people periodically look and say, well, I see a Pontiac fire truck. No. Pontiac fire trucks are no more. It's Waterford regional fire. Pontiac fire contract has 3 years left on it after this year? 4. 2022, so you have 19, 20, 24 years left on the Pontiac fire contract. And at that point, if they want new fire trucks for the city of Pontiac, and we're still doing fire service for Pontiac, and the phenomenal job that we've done, I see no reason why they won't want us to. That would be negotiated into the contract. How many new fire trucks do you want? How often do you want it? And negotiate the contract. And then we could buy new fire trucks for Waterford Regional Fire that would service Pontiac, but the new trucks are for Waterford Township.
Okay, I just want to make sure the Waterford's not carrying the whole load for everybody around here.
But I will tell you this, if Pontiac Fire was still in business today and there was a big fire in Pontiac and Waterford was to go there, mutual aid, one of Waterford's trucks would run into Pontiac to save buildings, to save human lives.
I agree on that.
Yeah, because we get down, it's human life we're talking about now. We're not talking about boundaries and stuff
So
like
just
that.
some questions I had to ask.
Yeah.
My system.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you said you're looking for a new building for the community center?
Right.
You know, what happened? Why didn't you pick up the Kmart store or the Sam's store that was all vacant for months?
Well, number one, the Kmart store is built on a swamp, okay?
Right.
No, just, that was, I don't know how long that's gonna last, but I know there's another one real close to it. It used to be a concrete slab on dirt. You can put a rowboat on there and go underneath it now to service the plumbing stuff that's hanging underneath of it. It used to be buried in the dirt, now it's suspended and hung up there because it fell down and collapsed. Water lines, sewer lines, because the building's on pilings and beams, but the dirt underneath settled about 4.5 feet. And I know plumbing contractors that have gone into service, but I said, you get in a boat, you go and you float underneath of it. I mean, it's literally, so and then Kmart's right next door to that. So again, that's not a stable building that I'd be interested in making a new community center.
Well, the CIA building is not too stable now, is it?
What's that?
The CIA building that's not too stable now, is it?
That's why we're looking at doing a new building. you know.
What about the Sam's Club? I mean, I know a boat outfit bought it, but you got a good chance there to buy that. But when you sold the CIA property for it, you could have bought that property.
There are people that tried to purchase the Sam's Club on more than one occasion, as Tony can attest. He's not selling Sam's Club. He wouldn't sell Sam's Club. There was people that wanted to buy it outright. There's people that wanted to buy Don Pablo's. There's people that wanted to buy the 10-acre lot at the corner. He's not selling. It's not for sale. You want to lease it, fine. But if you're leasing the building, how much money, how much taxpayer money are you going to dump into a leased building that you don't own? None. You know,
Okay.
But again, I appreciate you're a guy that is in the know and pays attention. But again, like I said, looking at the whole picture, I'm saying again, this is for essential services for Waterford Township. And
You remember a couple years, probably 2, 3 years ago, I questioned my tax statement, I said, there's two items that's not on a tax statement,
I remember that.
and you fix it. And I looked at some of my other ones, and the street lighting is not on some of them. That's an assessment right there.
Yes.
So, I don't know what's happening here. Do not letting the public know about it, or they're just forgetting to put it on, or there's no room for it, I don't know, on the ballot. But I feel that the fire and police NCIA building should be done in November, not in August.
Okay, and I'll explain to you, this is why we decided to do it, you know, in August, okay? Now, the 1st of August, we send out to all the department heads, they have to have their preliminary budget in August 1st for the calendar year, okay? And then we have our preliminary budget meetings in September, mid-September. We have our open to the public budget meetings where we determine you can have this, you can't have that, and that is end of October, 1st of November. And then we have to put that budget together. Once we decide yes and no, we have to put the final numbers together, adopt it as a board, and present it to the state of Michigan by December 15th of the calendar year that you're in for the following calendar year budget. Our budget is a calendar year, January 1 through December 31. So if we were to put that on the November ballot and get it approved or disapproved at that point in time, all of our numbers are on hold. We don't know where we're at. It takes that long of a period of time to crunch those numbers out and get it right. That's why we put it on the August ballot, because, you know, it gives us months of September, October, November to get our budget in place, and then a month to finalize it and get it. It's a 3-month process. It
Maybe
is.
this is too pressing, so you can't move the CIA millage to August with the same, police and fire millage.
No, not put two items on the same ballot, no.
I don't know why not. It's our money, we should have the right to decide who we want to vote for.
Well, again, we haven't got the final numbers in on the new community center. If they come in too high and we can't get a number, it won't even go on the ballot. So again, that's why we've been putting, put a lot of hours and a lot of time in these numbers, because again, I'm not tax exempt, I pay taxes too, and I don't want it, but again, you have to look at the benefit to an entire community. This isn't going to benefit the electeds or the rich people or the poor people or the middle class. It's going to benefit everybody. Everybody is going to benefit from police protection, fire protection, EMS protection, and new community center. It benefits everybody. I mean, hopefully, I never need EMS. That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully, I never need a fire truck to run to my house and extinguish anything. And hopefully, I never have to have the police come here and investigate anything. But if I do, you know what I know? Got some of the best in the business right here in Waterford Township, and that makes it real easy to sleep at night. But again, a new community center, like you said, the CAI building is not real stable. That was a good statement you made there, but again, we'll have to make do with it for now.
I mean, I understand the township pays $1 for that. Why don't you give them $2, let them make $1 profit and get rid of it? That's
Well,
what I feel about it.
it's ours.
It's what?
It's ours.
No, give it $1, let them make $1.
That's industrial property. We built a new community center.
I know,
okay?
what's that gonna cost?
That's what we're in the process of trying to find out. But whatever revenue we make off the sale of that property goes in and pays the community center bond down, your payment lessens.
Let me ask everybody on this board, have you ever seen a millage expired? I've been paying taxes since 65 years. I never seen one millage expired. They always renew. I like to see once in a while a couple mills expired and give the money back to the people.
The renewals go up for vote, so it's the people that vote the renewal.
I know it, but
That's why we put it, and again, the residents ultimately make the decision. We make the suggestion, they make the decision. And again, like I said, you know how good our police and fire departments are. I don't have to read, you know how good they are, and the majority of people, it's like I said.
I'm sorry, but I got my doubts about the fire department. But what I've seen over the years, I told him, the chief, about it. With the EMS and that, and what happened for the last 10 years. I'm not too happy with it. When I had to go to the hospital, I called 911. I called Star Ambulance to take me to the hospital.
Okay, that's your choice. It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, you can, but you said, we get people coming in and give testimonials all the time about how wonderful our police and fire departments are, what a good job they do.
I know, I was there a couple times, and these people getting out of water, they need it, you know.
Okay.
We all on it, but You got your job to do, and I got mine.
I didn't say it earlier, Ray, your 3 minutes is up. Now, the next 5 people that wanted to speak, you can't because Ray used up your time. No, I'm just kidding. Who else would like to come up and speak? T. Klein.
I appreciate your explanation on that. And you're right on, the city of Pontiac and the city of Lake Angeles are paying their share for fire services from the Waterford Regional Fire Department. I didn't want to talk about that necessarily, but I wanted to mention the fact that Waterford Community Church contacted me, Pastor Mark Manzer over there on Airport Road, and they came over to Station 1, young adults. There was some young adults, regular adults, I don't know what you call it, other adults, but young adults, teenagers, and they came over and re-landscaped an area of fire department headquarters. It looks absolutely terrific, and they did a great job. I'm going to do something later for them here in the next month or so. But I wanted to mention it to you guys up front first, and just talk about what a great job they did. They planted flowers, planted some hostas that I cut out in my gardens. Looks absolutely fantastic. If you have a chance to go over there, please check it out.
Nice curb appeal. Yeah, it looks great. Yep. Yep. Is there anybody else like to come before the board at this time? Somebody? Nobody.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Any further discussion on that topic? Funny that never is. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? There are none. Thank you.